Welcome to San Giulio de Orta. This is the famous and bougie San Rocco Hotel, which we only got a room at because Travelocity double booked us and then got us a free hotel. It is right on Lake Orta. Orta San Giulio is located at the top of Italy, and the wiki says it's one of the most beautiful cities in the country. San Giulio Island, or St. Julius Island, is the only island on the lake and houses a basilica and monastery. People come to Orta San Giulio to admire the lake, island, and town square, but we came to see the Saint Francis chapels. The Sacred Mountain of Lake Orta, 20 chapels atop a hill, dedicated to Saint Francis and depicting important moments from his life in the form of life-size statues. It took 200 years to complete. We left the town square and began our trek up this beautiful cobbled street. If you climb the Sacred Mountain, I would highly recommend visiting this church, the Chiesa di Santa Maria Assunta. It was one of the most beautiful churches I went in the entire time I was in Italy, but then again, so was every church I went into. I do not claim to be in very good shape, but the higher you go, the better the view. To the right of the church, there were very helpful signs leading us up towards the Sacred Mountain. There was a beautiful view of the lake the entire time. This really wasn't that bad of a hike. It's more of a hill than a mountain, with paved roads the entire way. And this really nice natural rock wall covered in lizards. I mean, look here, that's a really big lizard right there. You get it? Because his name's Lizard. We just took our time and enjoyed the view. It was a lovely walk and great weather, and if you get lost along the way, there was a helpful map halfway up to make sure you were on the right path. And now we pause for some religious facts about Power Rangers. The soul is real in the Power Rangers universe, as there are episodes that feature ghosts. Most memorably, Operation Overdrive's Pirate in Pink, which features the ghost of Brownbeard the Pirate, and Time Force's The Ghost of the Clock Tower, you see it's in the name there, which features the ghost of Walter, the man who lived in the clock tower, where Katie goes back in time to help him finish his unfinished business so he can move on and no longer haunt for all eternity. But most prominently would be the ghosts of the parents of Crimson and Navy Thunder Rangers, Blake and Hunter in Power Rangers Ninja Storm. You will know you've reached the end of your hike when you come to these informative plaques and this lovely archway. Right inside, you'll be greeted by the man himself, Saint Francis of Assisi. Love that guy. There's a spectacular view of the lake with cute little benches you could probably sit at for hours. And quite unexpectedly, there was a welcome center with a cute little cafe that served an assortment of food and drinks. And I walked in to look up and see this light fixture made of crystalline birds and was greeted by Ellie Goulding's "Love Me Like You Do." It was magical to say the least, but to get a 5-star rating from me, you have to have a bathroom, and there were bathrooms. You come in down at the archway, St. Francis is to the side, you walk up to see the beautiful overlook, directly behind which is the first chapel, and the door right next to that is where you can get an informational pamphlet. They very kindly offer pamphlets in 4 different languages. Unfortunately, they were out of English ones the day we went, but they have a map inside them and offer information about each of the chapels. We decided to go ahead and take a French one because Lizard does have some high school French under his belt, and I thought it'd be funny to watch him try and translate. The first chapel is the birth of St. Francis, who was apparently born in a manger just like Jesus Christ. It was a very dramatic and interesting scene, but most notably, the expression on the face of the horse, who seems to be saying, "Is that how humans reproduce?" And did I mention how beautiful the view of the lake is? Yeah, it's like all you could look at for days. Shh. All these horses are like, a human said, "What now?" And then he realized he was gay. St. Francis made his own cloak. His first capuchin cloak, he made it himself. What a guy. He's a cosplayer. He's my people. And there's his butt.
I think he's naked, and they painted clothes on him.
You could eat some pancakes on that butt. That is Lando Calrissian. Do you see the shape of his wardrobe and the color? That is Lando Calrissian. See how you're trying to get through the chicken wire there? Someone made a hole for you. Right there. Oh, so perfect hole. The buildings actually have ancient directions on them that my father is currently blocking. Lizard! See the hand that's directing you to go to the next chapel in the sequence? It's very well organized. St. Francis and his bros have a bunch of naked dudes that they're hazing. That is not a face of joy. He's like, "Can I have my pants back?" And they're like, "We took them." What happened to that woman? And just like that, religion multiplies. One dude in a brown robe is now like 80 dudes in brown robes. That book can fly. The Pope is fancy. This place is amazing. Church, 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 church. Can't get a good shot of the chariot because all the damn mesh. There he is. Still trying. Has given up. Look at the fabric detail on that. Rainbow sherbet marble. I'm pretty sure that's Judith and Holofernes. Mary is so beautiful, so fancy. They're gonna put that crown on her head. And I think that this kid down here has that Benjamin Button thing. Like, that's a 40-year-old man. Not again, Stephen.
He looks like a little man. He looks like a pimp.
He looks like the leprechaun.
He looks like the leprechaun, totally.
He looks like the leprechaun.
He looks like the leprechaun.
No offense to Warwick Davis.
No offense.
Like, Warwick Davis is very attractive without the makeup. It looks like the makeup, not like Warwick Davis.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, we are a family. The bunnies in the art to me look more like chinchillas. Demons. Oh, look at that, dude. Look at the detail on that hand. Is that a badger?
Saint Francis of Pepe.
But the demon's got titties.
Demon got titties.
Demon titties. No Pepe. There is a third demon I haven't even seen. Look at him. Look at his foot. More religious facts about Power Rangers. Religion does exist in the Power Rangers universe because Santa Claus exists, heavily influenced by paganism and Christianity. You could argue that since it's an alternate dimension from our own, Santa Claus simply exists on his own without the influence from these religions. However, there's an episode of SPD where Jack says Merry Christmas and Bridge responds with, actually I'm Jewish, so it would be Happy Hanukkah. There is before that an episode of Power Rangers Zeo called A Season to Remember, where Tanya is shown celebrating Kwanzaa as well as they are celebrating Hanukkah and Christmas, confirming there are a number of faiths and worships in the Power Rangers universe. Adam also says in this episode there are some cultures that do not celebrate a holiday around the solstice season, confirming that religion is in fact a thing you can choose to do or not do.
Oh, it's so pretty and so holy.
I'm on crack. The Sultan of Egypt has a pet lion. Unless he's the Sultan. That guy looks more like a Sultan to me. And the horses are still on crack.
Black people exist. It's a miracle.
Do you guys see that frog? One of the most disappointing temples.
I would agree. Yeah, you wait for it. It's the highlight of the tour, but it's very minimal.
It was two dudes.
We're
Like,
saying
whatever. We
minimal.
couldn't even tell that he had the stigmata. We were like, well, where's the thing? The frescoes on this building have been outside for 500 years, and they are beautiful.
The paint on my porch has been there for 20 years and it has all flaked off.
Kids are playing, people are fighting, who even knows? My foot, it hurts. Power Rangers religious facts. Other than jolly old St. Nicholas, there are no deities or spirits in relation to Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or Christmas who appear in the franchise. However, in Operation Overdrive, the actual Norse gods, Thor and Loki, do appear in the episode It's Hammer Time, as well as Lightspeed Rescue's infamous mermaid Marina, whose father's name is Neptune, after the Roman version of the Greek god Poseidon. It is unclear whether or not Neptune is meant to be the actual Roman king of the sea, or if he's simply a mer-king named Neptune. And finally, the Morphin Masters, who are essentially the gods of the Power Rangers universe, a race of beings who decided to live inside the Morphin grid. They originally appear in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then not again until Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury. They create powerful artifacts from inside the grid and essentially control the fate of all Power Rangers. Is this the beginning of a horror movie? They're in the hole, right? Oh, I see them. See? Toilets. As a child of Appalachia, I am used to squatting when I pee. However, I would rather pee outside because this is an insult to anyone with a bladder. It did not get like that in one day. They do not clean that toilet. I have been to toilets where there is not a seat, but there is a hole in the ground because there are cultural differences. That is not that. That is not that. If you're a tourist and you think that that is what it's like to pee in a hole in the ground, then you're just a fucking racist.
In a crypt.
That is a toilet at a park that no one cleans, which is an entirely different issue.
Toilet of the dead.
I don't know what it has to do with anything or if it's even a permanent installment, but we found this miniature near one of the final chapels, and it was so cool.
That's some shit straight out of the thing right there. Think about what you learned. And did I mention the view is beautiful?
Then we stopped into the church, and I find it a sad level of irony that their sect was founded on giving up your worldly possessions and not accepting donations, and now you have to pay to pray. This was a must-see. 10 on 10. Do recommend. A special thanks to Paulina Poroskova, whose video is what led us to add this to our vacation roster. Thanks for getting the word out.
Nailed it. One take wonder.